On May 27, 2022, the hit science fiction drama Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 1 was released on Netflix. In episode 4 of the show, no spoilers, don't worry, the episode featured a poignant scene involving main character Max Mayfield. In the background of this scene, Kate Bush's 1985 single, Running Up That Hill, plays prominently. The scene went viral on TikTok and other social media platforms. The scene also caused a sort of revitalization of the song as it too went viral. Running Up That Hill reached high spots on music charts globally, higher than ever before, including its initial release. Kate Bush's music is now bigger than ever, and her recent strike in popularity helped her reach new and younger fans. Today, we're going to dive into the album that Running Up That Hill comes off of. Her fifth album, Hounds of Love, is mostly agreed on by critics and fans alike to be the creme de la creme of her discography. It's essential listening for anyone who wants to understand who Kate Bush is as an artist. We're going to discuss some tracks and learn about the story of the album while also discussing Kate Bush's journey as a musician. Honestly, this is a total jam. Kate Bush was born in England in the late 1950s. She came from a fairly artistic family, with her mother being a dancer and her father being a pianist. At age 11, she began writing and composing music. Around this time, she recorded a demo tape that ended up in the hands of the guitarist of Pink Floyd, a close family friend, and through his connections sent the tape to music label EMI. Bush was then subsequently signed to the label. At age 19, she released The Kick Inside, her debut album. The album was critically praised and commercially successful too. The lead single, Wuthering Heights, was able to reach #1 in the UK, making Bush a bona fide star. Kate Bush continued to create critically and commercially acclaimed albums. Her third record saw her take on a fair bit of production work, which was very uncommon for female artists to do at the time. Kate Bush continued for the rest of her career to control the production side of her music, which led to the creation of Bush's first self-produced album. 4 years and 3 albums later, Kate Bush released The Dreaming. If there was one word I would use to describe this album, I would say it's very ambitious. The songs are experimental and strange. In the album, you will hear instruments like the mandolin, the uilleann pipes, the bouzouki, and even the didgeridoo. The album was a bit too out there for critics and consumers, garnering mixed to negative reviews and underperforming sales numbers. The album would later undergo a reevaluation, with artists like Björk and Big Boy citing it as one of their favorite albums. The Dreaming is worth checking out, but I wouldn't recommend it as your first Kate Bush album. Because of the record's underperformance, the next album would have to be very different. Hounds of Love, her fifth album, was the first to be recorded at Bush's home studio in the countryside, a vastly different setting from the cityscapes of her old life. This allowed for a much more positive experience working on the album, one that bleeds into the energy of the album overall. The album combines futuristic production work and lush synthesizers, with a touch of weirdness left over from The Dreaming. Kate Bush wrote and produced all of the songs on Hounds of Love. It went on to become her most commercially successful and critically acclaimed record ever. Rolling Stone ranked it number 68 on their list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. Let's talk about some album highlights from the Hounds of Love. The first track, Running Up That Hill, originally called A Deal with God, was her most popular song and considered her best by many, even before Stranger Things. The concept behind this one is a little strange, so just try and stay with me on this one. But you'll find that most of Kate Bush's music has strange meanings to it. The song comes from Kate Bush examining the division between men and women and thinking of ways that they could understand each other better. She decides that the solution for her problems is to make a deal with God and ask if they could have the genders swap places and experience what it is like to be in the other's shoes. Bush hopes that the experience would lead to a better understanding of each other. That's where the lyric, "I'd make a deal with God and I'd get him to swap our places," comes from. Because of Stranger Things, the song was able to find larger chart success than it ever did before. Running Up That Hill is composed of airy 80s synthesizers, booming drums, a sweet guitar riff, and a traditional Russian stringed instrument called the balalaika, which, in combination with the lyrics, makes the song feel mystical. Kate Bush is known for her usage of unconventional instruments. Running Up That Hill ranked number 60 in Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time. The song has peaked at number 4 on the American charts today. Nothing to scoff at for an almost 40-year-old song. Track 5, Cloud Busting, is one of her most popular tracks among fans. The song was inspired by the 1973 Peter Reich memoir, A Book of Dreams. It is told from the perspective of Peter Reich, son of psychiatrist and philosopher Wilhelm Reich, and his memories as a young boy on the family farm Organon with his father. The song is mainly about Wilhelm's abrupt incarceration by the FBI and the effect on his son. The song features angelic strings, softer drums, backup vocals from her sound engineer and her older brother that complement Bush's unique and dramatic vocal performance. Also, it's my favorite from the record. The next track begins the second half of the album, which could honestly be classified as a completely different album. Side 1 of the album is referred to as the Hounds of Love. Its songs resemble something similar to conventional 80s pop music with its own Kate Bush twist. You could call it the more commercially viable side of the album. Side 1 of the album comprises songs all loosely related to the theme of love. Meanwhile, Side 2, which is called The Ninth Wave, is a concept album that was nothing like anything else released by her before. The Ninth Wave tells the story of a woman stranded and lost at sea. The first part of The Ninth Wave is And Dream of Sheep, the beginning of the story of the Ninth Wave. The story begins with the woman being stranded at sea with nothing but a life jacket on her back to keep her alive. She wishes to relax and presumes that she will be found by passing by boats. She tries to assure herself in her weak and tired state that if she were to fall asleep, nothing would happen to her as she would be rescued. However, she knows that if she were to fall asleep, she would surely drown. The song is composed of only Kate Bush's vocals and a soft piano, creating a haunting yet comforting atmosphere. The piano strikes a feeling of melancholy, reflecting the narrator's feeling of uncertainty. The middle portion of the Ninth Wave mainly focuses on the plight of the narrator's experience at sea. A lot of the tracks focus on hallucinations the woman has, caused by hypothermia and delirium. Waking the Witch is a particularly notable track, as it can barely even be considered a song, as it's more a collection of voices. It's an understatement to say that the production and overall concept of this song was ahead of its time. Its choppy production is a particular highlight of the song. You can hear several voices asking the main character to wake up. She imagines herself as a character who is accused of being a witch, a storyline based on the 1958 children's novel, The Witch of Blackbird Pond. The voices create a sense of confusion for the listener and the narrator. Behind the voices, you can hear something similar to the soft piano on And Dream of Sheep. But when the chorus hits, you can hear a smooth guitar riff, glitchy vocals, and what sounds like church bells at some parts. At the end, you can hear a helicopter and a voice saying, "Get out of the water." It's altogether pretty intense. The Morning Fog is the final track of the album, the final chapter of the Ninth Wave. The woman supposedly miraculously survived after being lost at sea. The guitar and instruments present a very soothing vibe, making this possibly the most calming sounding song on the Ninth Wave. It feels almost reassuring, which goes along with the message of the song. The woman at the end is rescued and decides that because of this near-death experience, she needs to go on through life with a more positive outlook. Bush sings, "I'll tell my mother, I'll tell my father, I'll tell my loved one, I'll tell my brothers how much I love them." While Kate herself has stated in interviews that the woman does survive after all, many diehard fans cling to the theory that she died from drowning, and this song is more metaphorically about rebirth or even reincarnation. But I like to believe, like Kate herself, that the woman was saved. I can't think of a better way of ending Hounds of Love than the narrator of the story proclaiming she will tell everyone how much she loves them and how she will be more appreciative, especially in a record that's main theme revolves around the concept of love in all of its shapes and forms. Kate Bush continued to release projects that garnered attention and acquired a devoted fan base along the way. But Hounds of Love is still in many eyes the best record in her discography. I hope that you enjoyed the plunge into Kate Bush's album. Other tracks of this woman's work that I didn't get to discuss that are also really good from the album are Hounds of Love, The Big Sky, Mother Stands for Comfort, and Jig of Life. Thank you for listening.